Hey yo, what's decent? Although I'm working with older Pokemon, I have a whole bunch of new guys that I want to use. But first, I want to post this match against this guy called BlackspottedZebra. He's going to lead up with Menshao. I start things off with my Rotom. I initially switch out as opposed to going for the Volt Switch in order to switch out because I don't want to find out that he's also a Choice Scarf variant and go for the high jump kick and finish off my Rotom right off the bat. Rotom's hella important. So I'll go into Gliscor and I find out that he's a Life Orb variant, which is okay. But at the same time, it's a little bit risky for me to stay in because if you guys do know or remember, Menshaos do carry Hidden Power Ice, especially the Life Orb variant. So he's gonna make a switch out into a Azumarill. I'm just gonna switch out into my Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn's in play. I feel kind of safe to go for the Spice. I'm insinuating I'm gonna go for the Grass move, being the Power Whip. He doesn't buy that. He goes for the Super Power. Not quite enough to finish me off, but enough to leave a devastating dent to remember it by. So as promised, I'm gonna follow suit with a layer of Spikes, and I'm gonna follow suit with a Protect just to recover a little bit more HP back. Now, when you see that play on Skype, he was like, yo, I knew you were gonna go for the Protect and I should have went for the Belly Drum. And I'm like, you have Belly Drum? And he's like, yo, Kashif, this is the marrow that you gave me. It's Belly Aqua Jet. And I was like, oh, you know, so I'm so glad he didn't actually go for the Belly Drum. So I'm just gonna switch right out because I'm thinking that he could go for another superpower and finish off my Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn walls a whole bunch of stuff on his party. So I switch out into Rotom, Choice Scarf, so I'm able to outspeed this Heliolisk, and he goes for the Volt Switch thinking that he would outspeed me, but he was kind of surprised that I was a Choice Scarf variant. In comes a Rotom of his own, so that's actually a great play. By Rotom, I do mean Ditto, you know, he's gonna copy the form of Rotom. That's a great play because he can actually go for the Volt Switch. He goes for the Hydro Pump, which is great actually because I was contemplating switching into Gliscor. I really was. I was gonna be that guy for a minute, but I'm like, you know what? Ferrothorn can tank both Volt Switch as well as Hydro Pump, so he's gonna switch into his Gengar, and it doesn't make sense for me to stay in with Ferrothorn, especially since I have the knowledge that his Mega Evolution has Shadow Tag, and especially since I have Goodra, which Gengar won't be inflicting much to anything to it. I mean, look how much Goodra takes from this Focus Blast. Oh, he didn't take anything. Exactly my point, baby. So anyway, Azumarill's gonna come right back in as a Dragon Breath. Yes, I do have Dragon Breath over Dragon Pulse because I prefer to have the 30% paralysis rate over the extra damage. A little bit of extra damage coming from a Goodra, mind you. It would be alright on a Nervon or something completely offensive, but like on a defensive tank, I prefer status. You know, that's kind of why we run Scald over Surf, because of the 30% chance of the burn. So I'm just doing the same thing, but in retrospect, having the 30% chance of the paralysis. So, you know, you laugh at it, but hell, it's hella helpful. He's gonna copy me actually and get the paralysis on my Goodra, which is quite fine because I'm a Resto Chesto set, but more importantly, now his Choice Scarf Ditto is completely paralyzed thanks to this nice little tech that I have, Dragon Breath. Who's laughing at that move now? That's what I thought. In comes Scolipede. I'm gonna switch out into my Ariados, rethinking that he had access to Rock Slide. Gonna test that theory out a little bit. I'm gonna go into my Gliscor just to see what he would do. Speed Boost Scolipede is a huge threat because it has access to Swords Dance too, so you can be like +2/+1. Come on, anything +2/+1. I don't even care if you're a Magikarp, man. You're inflicting some kind of damage to somebody, for real. But contrary to that, Scolipede must have gone off the deep end if he could think he could one-shot my Ariados with moves like X-Scissor and Poison Jab. Who do you think you are, trying to stop me from using my Sticky Web? It's over. The field is set, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm able to set up the most annoying thing, in my opinion, the most annoying entry hazard ever. I mean, it's whoa. This thing decreases speed when you switch in. That's awesome. I still can't get over that. I'm like all in awe over that. So I switch back into my Gliscor, trying to save my Ariados for a little bit later on. He's gonna switch right out. I'm thinking that, so I'll go and use Toxic, I believe, or did I switch out actually? I think I switched out, anticipating something else to come back into play. So I roost. Okay, that's what happens. I roost, which is hella important. You guys will see that later on. So I taunt this Gliscor just in case he decides to go and use a support move. He's locked onto that since he's fully paralyzed. He doesn't outspeed my own Gliscor. In comes Azumarill. That's awesome. I'm gonna go for the Earthquake, thinking that something else is gonna switch in. I mean, why else would he stay in? Obviously with the Ditto, being that his Ditto would end up struggling struggling against my Gliscor. So now I'm stuck in because Mega Gengar has Shadow Tag. I tried switching out like a noob, but that doesn't happen. Hits me with the Shadow Ball, recover HP with the Citrus Berry, and retaliate back. Finish this clown off with the Earthquake. Gliscor killing clowns every day. Hate Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, son. We don't like clowns up in here. So now his Heliolisk comes in play. I'm just gonna switch right back out into my Goodra. Man, Heliolisk is not gonna do anything to Goodra at all. I don't even care if you have Hidden Power. It doesn't matter. Hidden Power, Fairy, nothing is touching my Goodra, son. So now he's gonna change up his tactics and apply the saying, if you can't beat him, you join him, by bringing in his Ditto and copying my Goodra form. How original, Ditto, really? So I get fully paralyzed. He goes to the rest, which is okay because that makes him a Choice Scarf Sleeping Ditto. Not really effective if you ask me, right? So I'm gonna go for the Dragon Breath and then take this opportunity to try to switch out into my Kangaskhan to try to set up on the Goodra. Being that even though he has Gooey, it'll be quite fine because as long as I have like the attack boost with spikes in play and the fact that I have Sucker Punch, I'm sure I'll be fine, you know, and I can always switch out and back in. So anyway, in comes his Menshot. I'm not exactly sure if he predicted Kangaskhan, but that was a huge play, man. It set me back because I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I know this thing is jolly too. Can it still outspeed at that point, even if the -1? So he goes for the high jump kick. Pretty confident that my Kangaskhan was actually going to stay in, but he scores a critical hit on the Gliscor, and then Gliscor gets 2-hit KO by a move that it resists. That is absolutely nuts. Holy crap. In comes this Ariados, and then afterwards it shows me bounce. So I'm thinking like, yo, I'm just about to get a cross poison or something, which is hilarious because I have dig. So imagine that he went for the bounce, I go for the dig, his bounce misses his target, and afterwards I hit this clown with the dig. Oh my gosh, I would have paid anything to see that just now. I'm so mad that I didn't go for the dig. So I have to switch into my Ferrothorn just to get the Iron Bars and the Life Orb damage accumulated. And I'm actually glad that his bounce attack wasn't enough to finish off my Ferrothorn, because what that meant is that he'll be able to finish me off in the U-turn, which in turn means that I'll get switch priority in whatever he decides to switch out into, which is great. In comes his Heliolisk, and I think this is now the time to bring in my Kangaskhan. Being that he has a speed drop, it'll be awesome for me to get a power-up punch, so I'll be +1. I'm looking great right now. Heliolisk Bites the Dust is done for the night. So in comes back in his Menshao, and now since I'm in Mega form, I'm almost pretty sure that I can outspeed it and finish this clown off with a Dizzy Punch. Menshao, what do you think he was doing, son? I think that was his last hope right there. So in comes the Scolipede, right? He's gonna go for the Protect, and then afterwards I'm like, okay, maybe I can outspeed, but hey, what does it matter when a brother has Sucker Punch? Baby, +1, let's go. And then this clown comes back into play like his dream job is to work at Office Max, making copies all day. Man, gonna come into my field, act like he about to do something. Boy, what you doing?